This is the mythological meditation for the follicular phase. Allow yourself to settle into your seat. Deepen your breath. Feel the place where your body meets your seat. Allow your spine to straighten, the tip of your head reaching upwards and opening towards the sky. Allow your body to move in any way it wishes to, in order for the energy within you to disperse. When you're ready, close your eyes. Begin to imagine your springtime path. The scenery looks familiar now, full of your spring sights, sounds, smells, and sensations upon your skin. The path leads you to a clearing within a meadow, and seated in the center of the clearing is yourself in your younger years. She is your maiden self, and you go towards her to join with her. How does she appear to you today? Does she have anything to share with you? From the edge of the meadow, out of the forest, comes an old woman. She walks with a stick supporting her and comes towards you and your younger self. You greet each other with an air of familiarity. The old woman motions you to sit, and she places her walking stick in front of her feet, her weight leaning into it. She tells you there are many ways to learn, and her favorite is through myth and story. She smiles with a twinkle in her eye and begins her tale. The story begins with a young woman named Psyche, a girl so beautiful that the neighbors mistake her for the great, beautiful goddess Aphrodite, and they begin to worship her. This makes Psyche miserable. She doesn't want to upset the powerful goddess Aphrodite, and her beauty makes her intimidating to others, and therefore pushes them away and causes her loneliness. She envies her sisters who are plainer than she, for they already have husbands and families of their own. When word reaches Aphrodite of Psyche's beauty, she becomes deeply jealous and enraged at others worshiping her, a mere mortal. She sends her son Eros to punish Psyche by making her fall in love with the most hideous creature imaginable. Meanwhile, Psyche's father begins to worry that his beautiful daughter will never marry. He consults Apollo's oracle, who convinces him that she must become the bride of a hideous flying snake creature. Psyche's father follows the advice and dresses her in a fine white dress and covers her with a wedding veil. He carries her to the top of a mountain so the flying creature may see her and carry her off. Upon the mountaintop, covered by her veil, she is spotted by Eros, who falls madly in love with her at first sight. He commands the wind to carry her up to his palace in the sky, where his servants adorn her with gold and jewels, bathing her and feeding her foods unlike any she has ever tasted before. The servants inform her that she will meet her new husband in their bedchamber this evening. However, when the night comes, she is kept in darkness when her new husband joins her. He tells her that there is one rule to be his wife, that she never look upon him in the light. They must consummate their love in darkness. She agrees, and life goes on happily for Psyche. Her days alone, but surrounded by everything she could ever want, and her nights with her beloved, but unseen husband. After a time, Psyche begins to feel lonely. She asks Eros if her sisters may come for a visit. Eros warns her to be wary of them, but Psyche is trusting and innocent, and doesn't believe there is anything to fear. The sisters arrive, and because of their jealousy of her good fortune and desirable husband, they decide to try to sabotage their marriage by convincing Psyche to get a look at her husband once he is asleep. They tell her he is truly a hideous monster, for why else would he hide himself like that from her? Inside, Psyche begins to question something in a way she never thought to question before. Could this really be true? His body felt beautiful and real to her, even in darkness. Not at all like a snake's body. But she begins to doubt her inner knowing. It nags at her until she decides to follow her sister's advice. She must know the truth. That night, she waits until Eros is asleep and lights an oil lamp. In the light of the glow of the lamp, she sees a beautiful god in a beautiful body lying before her. She is so entranced by what she sees, and as she could not control the leaping in her heart, so she could not also control the oil leaping from the lamp, as it sputtered down and burned her beloved, waking him from his slumber. Clearly offended and upset, Eros angrily tells Psyche that she has ruined everything, and he flies off. She is left alone and begins to spend her days searching endlessly and tirelessly for her lost love. At this point in the story, the old woman stops. She sighs and tells you that the rest of the story will have to wait. And her eyes fall upon the younger version of yourself still beside you. She is not quite ready for the next part, the old woman says. But don't worry, we will hear the end of the story soon. And with that she departs, as the scene in the meadow begins to fade out of your inner vision. As your inner vision fades, you begin to return to the room now, allowing your senses to feel back into your body, deeply breathing. Allow yourself to take a deep inhale and exhale, starting to feel the tips of your fingers and your toes starting to move, allowing your spine to stretch and re-elongate towards the ceiling. taking as much time as you need to return to the room. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes.